Peace, peace, love, light, fire, thunder, changes, transition. This is MC Sister Arcola Souljet, and welcome to Wise Woman Wednesday. I was gonna have on my introduction music, but my internet is stalling out, so it won't be any of that, I don't think, right now. So no problem. How's everybody doing today? Today has been really, really crazy energy, you know, so I don't know if everybody else is feeling it, but I know somebody out there feeling it. So we're going to start with just grounding our energy before I bring on Queen Jedi Tab. And I got a couple things I want to say, and let's just go ahead and just let some people get in here. Wait for Queen to come on, but like I said, the connection is a little off, so if you guys can't hear me or if the video is stalling, please put it in the comments or let me know, okay? Let's see here. So, happy April. Happy birthday to all of the Aries. It is Aries season. We are also in Mercury retrograde right now. Mercury is retrograding in the season of Aries, which brings a lot of interest and energy. It really does. Where there could be a lot of excitement as Aries like to move forward. You may find things more rammed up. There's a high potential for arguments and disagreements right now. There are also a time where things could be moving fast, where you may even be trying to be not in the mix, but other people put you in the mix. I'm ruled by Mercury, and normally Mercury retrograde, I don't know how it is for Geminis, but for Virgos, for me personally, normally what happens is I'm in the middle of this retrograde and I can feel all of these different energies taking place around me, people going crazy, people driving crazy, all of these things, and I'm in the midst of it, but it's not me per se, like it's not my energy or my issue. It's just things that I'm being, you know, affected by, or not even affected. I just see it. It's things I'm observing, and sometimes like I am affected by it because I may be left to mediate, or I may be left to get the effect of, or just even observing the rage. So sometimes when those energies are going on, I just try to stay out the way, do what I need to do. But you know, so you know, anybody having hard times right now, you know, with family, friends, you know, losing people in death, just, you know, problems in communication with people that we love. I just want to send some positive energy to that. I was going to do a prayer or a devotion. Well, like a divine, I was going to have some words prepared, but, you know, with all of the energy that has been happening and just, you know, the timing and everything, I'm just going to say, peace be still, peace be still. And I'm going to ring my bowl and we're going to go ahead and get started. The moon is in Capricorn tonight, and this deals with a lot of issues with looking at what we're eating, looking at diet, looking at health, what kind of regimens are we, you know, maintaining or putting in place. This is also a gibbous waxing moon, and this is a time of refinement and preparation as the moon continue to grow, illuminate, all of that stuff. So this is a time to kind of take a look at where we're going and what we've been doing, and just take, you know, some type of an accountability to see what needs to change, what we need to prepare for as we move forward on our goals, okay? So it is that time to just reflect on what we're doing, and, you know, if there's things that need to change in order for us to move forward. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and ring my bowl. I don't know how this internet is working right now, like if it's even, put the light on a little bit better. Tab, if you're out there in the audience, let me see something, because I should have tagged Tab in. One moment. It's gonna probably pause the live. Okay, sorry about that. I just had to, yeah, I hope you guys, like, whoever comes in, that you can, here we go, okay. So the mic was off. So just waiting on Queen to come up. I really wish I could have had some music playing for us tonight. I'll try again, but I don't know. It was playing and then it just cut off right before the live. So, oh, there's Tab right there in the audience, and definitely ready to bring you in. Okay, Queen, I'm about to bring you in now. And saying we having some kind of technical issues. I'm gonna try again. If not, oh, there's some music right there. This is some meditation music. Queen, if it doesn't let you me bring you in on this one, I'll start it over. But I'm gonna try again. It wouldn't let me bring you up at first. See if you can do it on your own, Queen. See if it'll just let you pull yourself up. Because it's telling me that it won't allow you to come up because of connection issues. And shalom to you, Queen. And if you can hear me, let me know, because it has been some connection issues. Like I said, we're fighting with this Mercury retrograde, you guys. It's been something. Now the music is coming back in now where it wasn't before. So it is what it is. We're going to keep it pushing. I was trying to see if it was there. Start again. It may stop again because the connection is bad. Hopefully we can push through this tonight. See, there it is again. So I'm gonna just, yeah. Let me see. Just let me know if it's letting you doing it. I mean, if it'll let you do it. Until then, I'm gonna just go ahead and keep the energy chi. I got me a little Florida water here. It's something. You guys, meditation, of course I got my candles going. I got the water going, all over the room, of course. So I may have to start this live over, which I don't mind, just so I can bring in Sister Tab, Jedi Tab. Okay. She said she can't hear me. I'm gonna restart the live if it don't let you come up. Oh, there it is. It says act now. There it is. Wow. Queen. Queen. I love that. I love your cloak. What's good?
Thank you.
Wow.
Oh, what's up?
Do you know it's this energy is crazy, right? So, because I was, even when we were talking in the inbox, it was connection stuff. So I'm gonna just go ahead real quick. Just like I said, my word today, and if you have an affirmation for us too, before we even introduce it, this is Queen, you guys, Jedi Tab. I want to welcome you to my platform, to the Soul Jet Healing community. And today is Wise Woman Wednesday, so welcome.
Thank you. I'm so delighted and honored, and this is beautiful. Thank you so much. So much. It's like for real.
Oh, no, thank you too for
I've been
coming.
checking out your show. I'm like, this sister's amazing.
You are too.
So
You are
really
too. You have an amazing. Yeah. I love the energy, love the flow. But I just think right now, as healers and teachers and truth speakers and just humans on this planet right now, we all need to take a deep breath and get into a grounded mode. And I think you and I could start our devotion with an affirmation today. So like I said, mine is real simple. I'm going to just quote Jesus, Yahshua, peace be still.
Okay. That's a good one. Because we have some stuff going on around here too, sis. Peace be still is a beautiful affirmation for this season. Very beautiful. I can definitely sign on to that,
Yes.
for sure.
So, and I mean, and we feel it, feel the shift and everything. And like the thing is, I'm going to just quote General Tashaka. He just, Brother Tashaka says, even when you don't feel like it, Queen, because there's days that sometimes it's a lot. Keep pushing anyway. it's almost like we can't allow that force to stop what we're trying to do right now, because this space is important. And so when I was pushing the button, I said, God, please don't do this to us. Please don't do this to us.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna go ahead and ring the bowl, and and we can go ahead and get started. So everybody, just welcome in to everyone who's in and everybody who will be in. Forgive me if I don't see you because the connection is a little, off right now, but my love, my light, my spirit, and our fight is here with you, supporting you guys. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath. When I hit the chime, you can release, hold, and release. Okay. So deep breath. One more time. Deep breath. Just focus on everything you'd like to release. All our obstacles are being removed. All the blocks are being removed so we can get to the blessings. We are victorious in our walk. And so we're going to focus on the parts of us that we'd like to release, the pain, any areas in your body where you feel pain or blocked energy. Focus on that and just take a deep breath. Hold it. Slowly release. I'm going to go ahead and do it one more time. It's just needed. Take a deep breath. Hold it. And slowly release. I really want to ring the bowl tonight just a little bit. Look, Mercury retrograding so strong, the bowl won't even ring. So, I mean, I can ring it, but it's like, I'm going to let it go. Even the bowl don't want to communicate. The bowl like,
Some days, some days, some seasons.
I mean, the bowl is a communication tool. The bowl is a form of communication, So welcome in, Queen. Go ahead and, we can go ahead and get started. Tell me about yourself. Tell us about yourself. And welcome, Brother Tashaka, General Tashaka. The General is in the house. Also, you guys, for the Black Coat, Brother Tashaka has a wonderful build that definitely, uplifts the people. Talk about culture, putting us on game about the ones that need to be put on blast, and just uplifting the people, doing a lot of community work and stuff. So shout out to General Tashaka. Been doing it for years. Much love, much respect, Black Power, all the time, every day. Anyway, so, all right, I tap, you got the floor, Queen.
Shalom.
Shalom.
So, boy, what to say about me? Well, like you said, I'm a truth teller, and I've always been. And I'm one of these folks that came into this incarnation or this lifetime with a lot of past life memory, knowledge, awareness. So not to say I never really was a child, but I kind of never really was a child, for however that. And that, that had some advantages and some disadvantages, serious.
When is your birthday? You're Aquarius. When is your birthday?
My birthday just passed, March 29th. I just turned 51.
Okay, you're not an Aquarius, you're an Aries.
No, I'm Aries. Yeah, Aries.
Okay,
Yep.
March 29th. Okay.
Yep.
Happy
Yep.
belated. Well, I already told you, but I just wanted to get that in because you said you're always an adult. So go ahead.
Right, yeah, exactly. And yeah, I'm a pretty classic Aries as well. Like but yeah, so coming into this lifetime really with a self-awareness that made other people really uncomfortable, the kind of sight and insight that made other people really uncomfortable, a sense of accountability that made other people really uncomfortable, taught me very early that sometimes you just got to stand alone, and take the hit, but keep standing. And
Right.
of course, that creates a lot of trauma socially and just, what have you. But what I have found is, and this is something that even as a child I was aware of, is it's all school, right? It's all for our edification, and it's all for our realization and development of the self, right? It all teaches us who we are in the moment, as well as how to become who we need to be for the next moment, right? And so I've just been in the space of, I guess, self-awareness and realizing my own power from a very young age. I can't say that I've been always the most responsible in the use of it, right? But
Yeah, all of you.
yeah,
So tell us
yeah.
a little bit, where did you grow up? Where are you from? And, what kind of background do you come from? Like, were you
So,
Christian or?
well, yes and no. Okay. So my parents, just a little to contextualize my conception. My
Mhm.
parents, if you know the story of the Panthers, when Rizzo raided the Panthers headquarters in Philadelphia and dragged everybody outside the one house and stripped everybody naked in the streets.
Mm.
That was my
Yes.
parents' home. That was my
Oh,
parents'
wow.
home. Okay.
Wow. So y'all
So
from
my
Philly?
mother, yeah, I'm from Philly. So
My
my
family is from
mother,
Philly. Oh, wow. Wow.
see,
What part of
yes.
Philly? What part of Philly? What part of
Well,
Philly,
that was
Queen?
in the section that's on Walnut Street. That was, but
So
I
just
didn't
tell
actually grow
somebody.
up in Philly. I grew
Mm-hmm.
up outside of Philly where my dad's people are from, but my mom's people are from Philly. And my dad, in those days, of course, was in Philly because they was all black and revolutionary. Wasn't nothing happening in the little podunk town he was from.
Wow.
Now
So
that
okay,
happened
I
when
want
my
you
mother was
to.
pregnant with my brother,
Wow. Yeah, I want you to
right?
tell that story. So your mom was the one that was in a high profile case that happened in Philly. That was your mom's house.
That was my mom and dad's house, correct.
Wow,
Um,
Queen.
and so I came along, that was 1970 or 71. I came along 2 years later, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's the energy I came into this reality through, right? Very
Mm-hmm.
militant, strong, pro-black people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now my mother and father didn't stay together for many years. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and independently, they were very different in their approach to parenting, which I did have my mother and father. There were periods, like there was a little while where my father wasn't very engaged, right? He was like soul searching, what have you. But for the most part, I grew up with both of my parents active in my life in their separate realities, right? Pardon me. They had very different approaches to life, but they taught a very similar, I guess you would say, ideology, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
ideology really being that, like my mother would always say, there's such a thing as human decency, right? There's such a thing as human decency. There's certain places in the self you just don't need to even go there. There's no need to be that, to take yourself to such a low place or to treat people in such a low way. And my father's, some of his mantras were, you know, you have to maintain free will and you have to maintain goodwill, right? And my mother was a pretty heavy disciplinarian, right? I'm the boss, and that's how that goes. My father was very different. He was like, we in his care, we raised one another, each other, ourselves. He was an advisor, but not really a parent, if you will, right? In the way people think of a parent in terms of having authority over us and all this. He didn't do it that way. It was more shared power, right? Um, I believe that I am probably the only of their children. Now, they shared 4 children, but my mother had 2 other children once and my father split, and my father ended up with 16 children.
Wow.
Okay. But from what I can observe, and I don't really deal with a lot of the family, and that's a whole other talk. But from what I perceive, and I'm pretty perceptive, so I would probably say it's probably pretty spot on. I am the only of the children who fully appreciated both of my parents' teaching. Most of the children chose one or the other as superior, not really understanding how spot on they both were and how their 2 approaches and their 2 messages really fit together, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
my mother taught like that there is a standard that you shouldn't, there's like a standard, right? My father taught follow your heart. Well,
Mm-hmm.
the beauty of that is if you hold a high standard, if you set your heart at a high standard and you follow your heart, then you can only ever continue to raise your own vibration and the vibration of the people around you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so that's been the path that I've been on. I would say only in the last maybe 5 years have I seen it the way that I've just been able to describe it, right, to you. But
Mm-hmm.
in truth and reality, that's been my life path, right? Is holding myself to an ever raising standard, being true to where I am at any given moment, right? Good, bad, ugly,
Right.
what have you, right? And just accepting the growth process, right? And sharing the tools that I have gained through joy and struggle, right? Just sharing the way that I've been able to find usefulness in all things, usefulness in both developing myself and usefulness in helping me to be more useful and available to others.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
religion wise, right? Religion wise, my mother's household was mostly kind of Christian. My father's household, somewhat Muslim for a while. But I would say that both of my parents were loosely religious, right? Like they both honored the wisdom of Buddha. They
Yeah.
both honored the wisdom of Muhammad. They both honored the wisdom of Yeshua. They both, you know what I mean?
Kind of
Wisdom.
kind of an eclectic
Right.
type of yeah, I'm kind of similar to
Right.
that. But
Right.
respect all of the paths, especially because
Right.
I'm bettering. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's very beautiful, that you had that. I like that.
Yeah, I was
Wow.
very fortunate in a lot of ways. Really fortunate to have the parents that I had. I mean, they were powerhouses, both of them like genius, like literal genius level intellect and incredible artists and creators. And so I just soaked it up, girl. I was like, I adored them both. Like, wow, my
Yeah. You got
parents are cool.
Yeah, you got your cool parents, exactly. That's dope. That's how I raised my son, but not, just in the consciousness. But my parents were cool, but just for other reasons. It wasn't, just for other reasons. I'm teaching them stuff now.
Mhm.
But that's
Right.
beautiful, Queen. Really beautiful. And so I've seen your path, and I love what you do. You can tell us a little bit about what inspired you to do your show. How long have you been doing it? What is your build about?
Okay, so the morning session live. So that I guess started around the year before I moved to Belize, which would have been if we've been back about 2.5 years, and we were there for 5 years, so about 8 years ago. It really just started with me sharing like my morning thoughts with people, which were not as spiritually centered as the show is now. More like social justice stuff was on my mind, right? But always grounded in spiritual truths, right? Because how do you separate social justice
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
back.
It's just the internet
The
again, but
sound.
we got it. So you was going to go that you can't separate natural law from. Let's see here. Okay.
Separation of church and state, that's absurd, right? How people
Right.
are handled is how people are handled. You know, and so but for myself, I began to really, I guess I'd say in the last 7 years, realize that I have a spiritual perspective and insight that a lot of people find a lot of benefit in just hearing my thoughts on spiritual things.
Right.
And so I just started to share more of my own spiritual journey more and more with the morning session. And we've been through some phases. We did like serious Bible study for years. And then we did some of the lost and rejected, quote unquote, lost and rejected scriptures for a while. And then I started with what we're reading now, which is the Holy Magillah.
What
And we've been,
yeah, I was
this,
going to ask you, explain that, the holy what?
the Holy Magillah. It is my favorite. Now, I am a lover. Bless up there, brother Kimwardo, welcome, and stuff like that. Um,
Thank y'all for coming in. Another Aries in the house, you know what I mean?
so holla, Aries Nation, baby. So,
Okay.
the
So the
Holy
book is called
Magillah,
what?
the Holy
Okay, Holy
Magillah.
Magula. Okay.
Now I am a lover of knowledge, of scripture, of spiritual things. I eat it all up. Okay, you could throw the Quran, the Bible, the Bhagavad
Right.
Gita, the
Yeah.
Yi
Come
Ching,
on.
honey, throw it here.
Yes.
I'm gonna eat.
Yes.
I'm gonna eat good.
Keep
Okay,
it up.
but this here thing that we done got our hands on, this here Holy Magillah, is like the resonance. It's like I at risk of people thinking I'm crazy, but you know, it is what it is. I just got you. Hey, T. Marys, that's right. um, it is such a profound perspective on the biblical narrative, right? Um, so it's often called the Jesus Bible
Did
because
you write
it is.
that? Holy Magula, when you get a chance, would you type that in just in case others want to check that out
Yep,
and stuff? So
and I'll
it's called the
even.
Jesus Bible.
Oops, I done spelled it wrong. Hold on, Magillah, and you can get it at. Let me see. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna type it in.
No
STRG.
problem. Yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate that. Just so we can, as we are getting this good knowledge of, I don't want to forget the name. So
Okay, see if you can follow that link. Thegreatinvestigation.com is where where I got my copy. You can purchase it there. If you're in a position to purchase it, please do, because it assists the work that they're doing that's not publicized, right? And if you're curious about what would that unpublicized work be, read the Holy Magillah. It'll tell you,
oh,
right?
that's
Um,
interesting.
but also, if you're not in a position to purchase it, they have made it available for free download through their site. You can buy it other places, though, right? There's other places to find it. And if you're not in a position to purchase it, and you also don't have like space for 1,000 pages of documentation on whatever device you're trying to download on, okay? Because
It's
it's
a
like
thousand
970
pages.
pages. Yes,
It's
girl,
girl.
it's
Well,
serious.
how much is the book? You keep saying that they can't afford it. How much? How much is?
I don't know, because when I got my copy, I was broke. I never went back and purchased a copy because I just been working with the one I done had since I was broke when I got it. But I think it's like $38 or something like that. But if you have
Okay.
trouble with the download, if you truly can't afford to buy one and you do have trouble with the download, hit my inbox with your email and I will share my Google file with you that I've already downloaded. That way you don't have to download it. You can always just jump right in there and check it out, right? Because I guess like them, realize that this here is this is the light workers' approach to the broadly held narrative, what they consider like the holy religions, the Quran, Judaism, and Christianity, right? Those foundational stories that everybody kind of believes about, all three of them. This like is a complete flip-flop perspective on them that is just delicious. It's just so beautiful. For instance, okay, well, first let's talk about why they call it the Jesus Bible, okay? Apparently, this is the way that Yeshua taught his followers and had them to write down these versions of the stories that everyone was so familiar with and all of this, right? In Yeshua's time, he actually referred to the bulk of the Hebrews as Aaronites, because the split that happened in the desert between Moses and Aaron, most of the people actually went with Aaron and Aaron's teaching because it was a lot more socially acceptable, it wasn't as, I guess, strange. There wasn't so much personal accountability. It didn't require as much, right? Like if you could sin and go kill a dove and be over it, right? Like with what Moses brought forth, like, no, you don't get the sin. You must like get yourself together. You know what I'm saying?
Right now.
And like you face the Most High yourself, right? Like we all have that direct access. There's nobody that can go on your behalf between you and like you got answer to the ancestors yourself, the angels, your cloud of witnesses, the Most High, all the way up to the throne, baby. You got to go yourself, develop that relationship yourself, right?
Yeah, you have to deal with the balance. Everybody got to be accountable.
Exactly. And so that split in the desert, what you ended up with was little pockets of Hebrews that we tend to think of as like the schools of prophets or the monks, these other little like special, like extra spiritual groups amongst the Hebrews. These were the people who were following the most true, or reportedly, right, that were sticking to the original thing, which was even before Moses, right? That Abraham, that Enoch, like these cats were on something all this time. There was a particular way that from the beginning we were given as the stewards of the realm. There was a particular way that we were given to conduct ourselves, knowing that this is a contested realm wherein it's neither a heaven nor hell. The sons of light and the sons and daughters of light and the sons and daughters of darkness are fighting for dominion here. And so, right. And so from the beginning, there has been like a protocol. Like if you're a son or daughter of light, this is the way that you must conduct yourself in order to be the most effective here in this here, right? And so, so Yeshua taught this scripture. He had his followers to write it down. He had them to commit these versions of the stories to their memory and to teach it, and also to hide it for a time until this time, because it really wasn't until this time that we would need it, like to the degree that we need it. And as with all things, the Quran, the Bible, all these beautiful spiritual books out there, a lot of them are greatly defiled, right? They are not the form that they started in. And so if you wanted something to stay pure for the last couple thousand years, you had to hide it.
Right.
Right. And so all around the world, there have been elders who have held these versions of this, our narrative, our spiritual development as a realm, have held it for this time, right, to release to the people at this time. And so I just find it to be so, so beautiful, because the more we read and study it, it's like it connects so many dots. For one thing, it shows that the indigenous what people think of as indigenous type of spirituality, like the ancient African spiritualities, that these things that modern people consider like polytheism. They're not polytheists. They believe in one creator, but there are many servants of different rank that you answer to. There are gods over the rivers, the sweet rivers. Some know, Oshun, but somewhere else she may not be Oshun. She may have a completely different name, but she fits under that. She's within that
In that,
body of deities.
that frequency.
Right.
That frequency. We're dealing with angles of light, so it can go around. Just to join in with you, Queen, because I know what you mean. It's a frequency, so it's coming from different angles, but it's the same. It's the same vibe. You know what I mean? Like you just,
Exactly.
yeah. It's on the same frequency, but there's a hierarchy of order. There's an order that you're saying, a divine order, and God can't do it all because God is consciousness. So these are the manifestations that you keep telling us about. These are different manifestations of that same God. We have the one God, but yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. And so it's been beautiful the way that it presents, right? All of this information is so grounding. And what I love is, as people listen, the ancient souls, we remember. When you read it, you're going to remember. You're going to be like, exactly. That, you're going to have that experience. Yeah, totally. Man, check it out. I suggest all melanin people in particular, just get a copy and read it. It's gonna, a lot of it is super controversial. It starts out with Genesis telling a different story, right? Like, not super different, but super different, right? For instance, and I say this every morning on my show, I share these few little controversial pieces. I call it clearing the room, because if people can't handle these few things, certain few things, they don't even stick around for the hour, because you're going to get
I'm there for your disclaimer in the morning, girl. I'll be laughing. I'll say, that's real.
It's real. Don't even stick around, get your feelings hurt, But like that, it's so different to consider that the Most High put the tree of life in the center of the garden so that they would eat from it and become enlightened and have everlasting life. Who is it that would come and tell you, if you eat from this tree, that you'll die? Clearly, they didn't die. If they did eat from it, they didn't die. So who would deceive them? The Most High? Absolutely not. Would the Most High forbid us? How many times do the scriptures tell us, in all our getting, get understanding, in all our getting, get knowledge, get wisdom, get understanding? So it would only be the enemy of our souls that would tell us that that's forbidden, right?
Right.
And
so get Justin in
things like this.
I want to get Justin in here to hear you. I want Justin to hear you talk, because
go ahead.
I'm just tagging people. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it just for me it has just been such a comfort.
Go back to the tree. So you're saying, go back to the tree. I was listening. I just wanted to tag Justin.
So the tree is in the center of the garden, specifically so that they would see it as their primary source of nutrition, right? The enemy is the one who told them, if you eat from it, you'll die. Come with me outside of the garden. I'm going to teach you how to eat food that'll make you strong. He has them killing animals and eating animal flesh, right?
Right.
Now, this scriptures presents that the reason for that is because there's two things that does. Thing one, there are classes of demons that literally feed off of trauma, right? Mm-hmm. And so when you kill an animal, that's trauma. So now you're feeding all of these demons that can come and eat the trauma of this animal that has done nothing and is now suffering, right? The other thing, though, is when you have the flesh of another being in your insides, rotting in your insides, you've eaten another being, it is a direct portal whereby the enemy can enter your body and plant into your mind thoughts that you think are your own thoughts. If you do not eat the flesh of other animals, you must do some ritual or something to invite the enemy into your body. You would know when a demonic suggestion comes up that it is from outside of you. But if you eat flesh of animals or other living things, people, animals, if you eat flesh, it is a direct portal whereby the enemy, now you don't have to invite him in. You've already invited him in. You've created a portal. So he can plant into your head thoughts. You think they're your thoughts, but it's not. You've given this entry. So this stuff is so deep, right? And it's like, it's game changing, right? When you really, like the further we study, we're about 200 pages in. I have not pre-read it. So when we read every morning, I'm encountering it. Well, I won't say for the first time, because I know that I know these scriptures. I know that at some point in my lifetimes, I have known these scriptures, right? But in this lifetime, I've not pre-read them. So when I read them in the mornings, it's as fresh to me as it is to the people that I'm reading to, right?
Okay, so you're just reading it alone and just reading it with everybody. So this is news to you.
Yep.
So,
I don't pick it up. I don't pick it up at all when I'm not with on my live.
So would you identify, is this kind of like, would you say that it's kind of a sector of Hebrew Israelite that you're a part of, or are you just more of an eclectic approach?
Well, it's called the Nazarene Bible. So these are the Nazareans. It's the Nazarene way.
Okay.
Or the Essene way, right?
And so Essene. Yeah, is that the same ones they were talking about in this room when they were speaking about Yaqub and stuff? The Essene people that were
I'm not familiar enough to say yes or no with that whole narrative. Essene, Essene.
Hold on, say it again. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Sorry, my pen.
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
The Essene Bible. And oh, that's done. Spell check, child. It done unfixed it. That's not correct. Here we go. They said essence. There we go. Essene. Is it okay?
Maybe that's for a reason, though. Maybe essence is there for a reason. Okay, I'm going to look it up and just, tap in. So that's very interesting, Queen. Very interesting. I have questions. That's why. So
go for it.
You tell the story of Genesis, and you said it was like it was different from another. In Genesis, there's already 2 creation myths taking place. So did it differ? Like, for instance, when they talk about certain dimensions, when they give certain numbers on like creating the ark and different things like that, was the differences like the Lord versus God, God versus the Lord God?
One thing that it presents is oftentimes Lucifer comes calling himself Yahweh, Lord and God. He steals the name of Yahweh, and he almost always comes with that stolen name of Yahweh, your Lord and God. Okay? Yeah, so that's Lucifer's favorite identity theft, right? But it does present things very differently, like Abraham and Sarah, or Abraham and Sarah, the way that we Abraham and Sarah, we've heard of that. But Abraham and Sarah are actually titles, according to this. Titles sent to seed a realm with life. So the way that it describes it is like this earth now, like an earth is born, it's like a flower. It grows, it goes to fruit, and then it sends forth its seed, right? And then it withers. And so each of those seeds trajected as
what is going on?
A holy divine feminine and a holy divine masculine who go to that realm where that seed is, and they will seed life, and they will set up this realm according to their heart's desire, right? And so it presents Abraham and Sarah not as as mere mortals, the way that they're presented in the Bible, but as the literal original divine feminine and masculine that seeded this realm with life, right? Now it presents the original divine masculine and divine feminine incarnate, I guess, condensed form, because you have the divine masculine and divine feminine in their infinite stage, right, which is just pure unlimited consciousness. But in their condensed form, they condense as original man and original woman, right? That is the Christ, Lord and Lady Christ soul, the first souls like that were condensed.
Incarnated.
Right.
Yeah. Christ is crystallized melanin. So
That,
you're dealing with so you're saying that they're the first of that celestial ilk or that substance. They were the
right,
first
they're the first to come into
divine living.
substance.
So
Right,
then
right.
so they would be almost like the Adam and Eve.
Well, no, because Adam and Eve, well, they would be the Adam and Eve of all of creation, not of Earth,
Okay.
right? So
So they
now Earth,
primordial then. So they're saying they're primordial. These people are beyond. So they're not titles and they gods. Like
right,
they're part of the Elohim.
right, exactly, exactly. And so, but then it also presents that here in this realm, there were seven, if I'm not mistaken, seven Edens. There were seven
Wow.
Gardens of Eden
That's
where there were a man and a woman who were created bloodline.
no, don't stop. Wow. Hold on, see, it paused you. And I was saying, don't stop now. I was telling the internet. So say that again. It was 7 Edens
Right,
and
7 Edens. Now I'm wondering, is it 7 or is it 12 now? I want to get it right. Let me check my notes because I don't want to tell a lie, but I believe there were
no problem.
7 Edens. But what happened is, and now you can read this in a more broad account of the 365 creators, right? The Elohim, the 365.
That's when creators don't.
Of these different Elohim designed a part of man and a part of woman. And then that prototype, they broke out into breakout groups, and everyone had to follow that prototype and make their own set. And then that set, right, in different groups, that set would then be an Adam and an Eve in a particular Eden. But remember that this earth realm is only one of infinite worlds that have flowered, spread seed, and withered, right? So this is something that is happening like
all the time.
Right.
So I wanted to say before you go on, so just for for clarity, so these 7 Edens are the breakout groups, or the groups that were coming out of that. Were these different races of people, or were these all black people, or is this how we got the master races of people?
Well, they're all melanin people. They're all melanin people, right? But even like what we consider like how we are now is nothing like we were at that point, right? And it's not conducive to the light bodies, the spiritual light, everlasting bodies that we were first, right? Because we were much more spiritual. We were built to last. Pain, suffering, trauma, lies, fear, all of that is brought into the realm. Then your literal form responds by becoming denser, smaller, right? The whole molecular structure changes. Right. They even present that you can tell the age, like whether an age is a righteous or an unrighteous age, by the types of creatures that you see in that particular age. Like a righteous age, there'll hardly be any carnivorous animals, none in a really righteous age. So
what kind of animals? Like dinosaurs or reptiles?
You have the same animals, but they won't. You might have a lion, but he won't have piercing sharp teeth because he won't eat other animals, right?
I got you. They'll be different in a different form. Those same animals would be they'll be in their higher selves.
Right. Exactly. And so when you when you look at today with so many like grotesque type of forms, animals with grotesque and frightening forms and destructive, right? Sharp claws and teeth and all this stuff, it's because the consciousness of the realm produces this type of creatures, right? They are conducive to what the consciousness is.
It's a reflection.
Shalom there, Adam.
Yeah, shalom, Adam. Peace, Adam. Greetings.
So it's really deep. So when you talk about Adam and Eve, they didn't even die with the same type of bodies that they first had. By the end of their lives, even their bodies had become much more dense, had become, had changed a lot
Right.
in order to descend from the mountain and do their ministry and work throughout the world to try to shed love and light, right? But there were several Edens, and yes, these different. That's why I think it was 12. I don't know where I keep saying 7, but maybe it was 12. But they are the individual like original races, right?
Okay.
But there are now some of that you can read even in Baruch, right? The books of Baruch talks a lot about that. Elohim. Interestingly enough, of those 365 Elohim, 7 of them were actually demonic. 7 of them were downward moving deities instead of upward moving deities. And I found it very interesting that the demon of envy was given the task of creating human skin.
Creating what?
Our skin, human skin. Oh. Envy created the skin. I'm like, wow, that's really that puzzle. That's sometimes like that's deep to me. But yeah.
Interestingly, beauty is supposedly skin deep. So the fact that they would give and beauty inspire, it creates envy,
right.
And stuff like that. So in the skin, you could have different types. It's like your covering is the biggest organism. So that's deep. Because in that skin, that's also where she's forming our features and stuff. So it's kind of like a thing where,
right? Isn't that wild?
Different
like, whoa, Brother Adam is saying that there were seven root races. So then that means there were 7 Edens. Thank you, Brother Adam. Yeah, 7. So there's 7 mountains here in this realm that on the top of those mountains was an original male and female that was created to set the standard for that particular people group or race, right? Now, granted, none of us resemble those original 7 races a lot now. And it was not such that each race came forth from that couple, right? But each race was made in the likeness of that couple. So like, okay, you have the original, then you have the 6 copies of the original in their different version. And then there were lots of, it's kind of like if I design a prototype So
we got to keep pushing. They trying to stop it, but we gonna keep pushing.
That's how they do us. We ain't tripping.
Yeah. we putting it on blast from every direction. They ain't gonna have nowhere to hide because we looking at everything. Okay. We want all the text. Yeah, we ain't gonna give them nowhere to hide, Queen. We really, this really was bold to do during the retrograde. Look, this was a bold move during the retrograde, but we got to keep pushing anyway. Yes, it's breaking up. Exactly. So we're going to have to
we was getting into.
Right. Yes. So yeah. So anyway.
So the morning session, we're reading that. Yeah, it's deep, sis. I'm telling you, this stuff is like. But for the true ascending soul, like for a lot of people, it's controversial, it's blasphemy, blah, blah, blah. But for the ascending soul, for the awakened, the enlightened, this stuff is like spot freaking on, and I catch a lot of heat, a lot of people don't like me. My stuff's always getting reported and I'm always shadow banned. I don't care if
The connection now because they don't certain things we're talking about.
I'm good,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm. So, Queen, I mean, that's deep. So, look, while before they totally block us out, tell us again when your show is and when they can catch that morning session with you, and when you're building on this with this book and everything. Well, I see you in the morning, but I'm not even sure exactly when it starts, the time, even myself. So, Sister
Okay, so
Veronica.
it's Monday through Friday. Monday through
Uh-huh.
Friday, it's 9 to 10 Eastern time, right?
Okay.
Now, if you've been there before, which you have, you typically don't need to come in the room till about 9:20 because I give the same disclaimer every morning. I spend the first few minutes really dropping some of the more controversial things out there because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to injure anyone in their spiritual progression, cause anybody any kind of, like
He
folks,
say,
it
say
really
that.
can hurt. They
He
say
say,
that.
say that. I'm not leaving. No, we not leaving.
Yeah. But yeah, we go for an hour. Sometimes I'm a little late, but I ain't usually too late.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
a lot.
9 to 10 Eastern.
Yeah, and I thank you for that. That's a lot because I'm supposed to have been doing this on Sunday, like just getting up early on Sundays. I'm like, I ain't worked that out yet. I'm gonna have to have you as my accountability buddy, like girl, because
It's
I've
been
been up
so
like
grounding for me, sis. It's been so
I've been doing
grounding for me. Like,
waking
I'm
up
sorry, I
early.
didn't hear
But
you.
see,
You
that's
said you've
because
been doing something.
no, I was just saying this because it's an hour earlier. So for me, it starts at 8, your show. But I said on Sundays, I've been trying to get up because I sometimes, like a couple years ago, I would get on like at 6, but it's been hard to do 6 a.m. So I'm like, oh,
Yeah, yeah, that's
sometimes
right.
yeah. So because by the time I get dressed and everything, it's 7. So it's
Right,
like,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah, I
So
used to do it super early when I was in Belize. I used to do it at sunrise because I lived like right next to the water. So I would walk to the water and I would let the camera, face the camera to the sun coming up over the water. And I would let the people watch the sun come up and then we would kick it. So it used to be a sunrise thing, but I'm back in Babylon now. So it is what it is. We do 9.
yeah, you know how it is. But the great Babylon is falling. though. They know it. So I was there. Let me see what else I wanted to ask you because we were talking about traumas and stuff, and you kind of went into a lot of that with your story in general. What do you think about the children now and how they have more access to certain things that we didn't, and just about these generational curses that's actually coming up that we wasn't. And when I say we, I'm speaking of the generations before us, all the way to us, and so forth. The way people address their parents now versus we did, the information that they have now, and the children are also evolving. So how do you feel about that whole like what is your opinion on the relationships between children and modern day parents, and is that still working? Is there something that needs to change, or is it that the kids are just out of control, or is there a balance, or
I see you down there, Brother Adam. Shalom, I see you. Amen. He says he's in agreement. Babylon is falling.
yeah, mine.
Yeah. So that's a really loaded question. First, I want to say that it really, all right, I'm in Aries, okay? I burn hot, okay? I burn hot. It really burns me up that people feel the way that they feel about these generations that done come up behind us. I'm 51, okay? My oldest is 30, what's this, 2000, she finna be 32, okay? And I got 5 kids from 32 down to 11, all right?
Wow.
Now, my kids fit in them generations of the kids that nobody likes. Everybody, they too smart, they disrespectful, they this, they that. First of all, if these people out here don't like the youth, the question is who raised them? Who was the example? where did they learn whatever it is that you don't like about them from? Right? So that's the first thing I want to put out there is that I defend these young folks. Now, what I dig about these young people is, see, they were born not falling for the bullshit that we fell for. You can't tell these kids that just because you're older, bigger, stronger, pay the bills, whatever, that you get to treat them any old kind of way.
I need Layla to be
that you get to be a liar. They don't have to respect. They came into this world knowing they don't respect liars. They don't respect you. You have no integrity. You get no respect from them. You have no respect for yourself. You get no respect from them. You trying to sell them on some BS. You get no respect from them. They're not going for like the absurd. You know, I talk to my 20-year-old. I dig my kids, man. My kids is crazy. My 20-year-old is like, listen, my generation is not spending all that money on college when we look and we see that went and spent jobs enough
come on
to pay back the student loans. They're like, why would we continue to do that when the fact of the matter is we do better spend our time figuring out something we love to do and find a way to make it a hustle. You're not going to make us feel like we're some kind of social failures because we didn't fall for the BS into these social traps. And these are the kind of, these kids were born ready for the fight that some people my age are just now getting around to realizing they should even be engaged in. So I think that a lot of what
go ahead. It's such. You're talking about a lot of gaps. You said 11 to 30 something. You 51. I'm 44. That's a lot of different generations. You know, because I was just gonna say, not to cut your wit, Queen, but I always say that because I was born in '79, and they would consider us bad. In the first generation, I was a runaway, all of that stuff. You know, we grew up doing the Bloods and Crips, and the reception is still off. Can you hear me, Queen?
You're breaking up on me.
Okay, I'm gonna just see if it is it. Can you hear me now?
Okay, there you go. Yes, yes.
No, I was speaking to it. My generation was considered bad. Like we went through a lot of divorces. It was when Bloods and Crips was coming in and stuff, and I know, and I would say that we were the last of the good children and the first of the bad, because we are the so-called bad children, because during that period we still had those certain values, like we still said and did certain things, but we was kind of talking under our breath and just rebelling in other ways. But now I think it's us that really, you know, created these children, because it's just as the generations kept going down, you know, they're looking at us. Even how we talk to some of the kids, like in my, you know, my mom said I talk back a lot. It was it's hard. I'm glad we're able to still push through. But no, Queen, continue if it lets you. But just to speak on that, yeah, I think that really these children could be our heroes and saviors if people would give them a chance, and we have to give them the right tools and in the proper way and let them express themselves and start back bridging the gap. Because like you're saying, they're on fire. They're not saying, I mean, we had a situation tonight, and the young lady was so mature with it, even though it might have been harsh for my growing up. I couldn't argue with what she was saying because it's real. You know what I mean? That's
exactly, and that's what the people don't like about these generations. They don't like the fact that they real. Not you, but people consider it disrespectful to tell the truth. Well, I'm sorry you feel a type of way about the truth, but these kids these generations came specifically to balance some of these scales, and they not finna balance them playing into social respectability politics. That's just not how it's going to ever get done. Okay,
they breaking it down.
No, they breaking it all the way down.
And I know it's crazy. It's beautiful, but it seems crazy. But we keep what happened really, Queen, too, now that you getting the keys activated, they kept neutralizing people because your parents were also rebels. That's a form of being a rebel. But they keep neutralizing our people. Every time we have a move, whether it's through drugs, they shut us up through whatever, it's religion or whatever. And each time we come back harder. Like in my generation,
And that's
we
all we
worried.
ever gonna do. That's all we ever gonna do is come back harder and more ready, younger and stronger. Like the kids be born right now, not with it. Like, yeah, try me. F around and find out. And you know, and I want to speak to trauma. And in terms of the trauma narrative, right now, first of all, I ain't finna pretend that life is not trauma. We live in a vastly fallen reality. Just waking up in the morning be traumatic some days. Like, oh, Lord, I'm still here, you know? I mean, yes, we give glory and honor and thanks for the opportunity to wake up, but some mornings you be like, it would have been nice to wake up on the glorious side of eternity. You know, like, it's hard out here. It's hard out here, you know what I'm saying? But I even question the whole trauma narrative because I could speak for me, okay? I did inherit a lot of generational curses, but baby, the generational blessings I inherited far outweigh them. And I'm going to be real with you. When I learned to look around and appreciate the generational blessings that I come through the door with, honey, I ain't got time to talk about the curses. Because I'm going to use these blessings to neutralize every one of them curses, right? You can't curse the blessing, you can't bless the curse. So when we learn that trauma is only, okay, so I use this analogy and I did a little TikTok on it. When you want to shoot an arrow, right? If you want to shoot it really, really far, you have to pull it far back on the bow. The tension in the bow, the harder the tension in the bow, the further back you pull that arrow, the further and the faster it's going to fly forward. So when you look at our traumas, all that is the pulling back of the bow, so that when we release the trauma, now we take off, right? And so we have to learn to appreciate trauma, right? We got to appreciate that trauma because first and foremost, we was built for it. We were built for it. It only makes us stronger, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Eliminate the low law. Amen. Amen. So these trauma narratives, I'm not speaking against healing because Lord knows I got my share of healing I done did and still doing and got to do, okay? But to not take on these trauma narratives where we're always singing some sad song because that's really not our reality. That's something that is being imposed upon us because, again, there are millions of demons who eat that. They eat our sadness, our woe, our distress, our frustration, right? So can we move through trauma without feeding all the demons around us? Yes, we absolutely can. I've had babies, okay? I done had me 5 babies, natural, no drugs, okay? There you go. Now, was it fun and exciting? Well, exciting, yes, but it was very painful, all 5 of them, okay? It hurts having babies.
Absolutely.
But you ain't got to be up in the hospital screaming and hollering and cussing nobody out. You can deal with that pain with a song, with the hum. You can talk to the baby. Come on, little baby. Come on through, right? You can talk to, like, the way you approach your painful experiences is your decision. Just because something hurts.
Yeah.
Right. Just because something hurts doesn't mean that you have to give it the power over you to determine your reality, right? And so I think that a large part of what our people would do well to do is to reframe our trauma. And first of all, to understand that we have inherited far more generational blessings than curses. And that those things that we consider curses are only that tension that pulls us back so that we can move forward faster and go farther. That's all it is. That's all it is. Nothing more and nothing less. Right? And so that's my approach to that. But I know that these things are hard. I know, I've dealt with a lot of like sexual trauma from childhood on up, I've dealt with social trauma. I've dealt with loss, betrayal, all these things. I'm not trying to make light of this stuff, right? But at the end of the day, it all served me. I'm a Romans 8:38 girl all things work together for my good because I love the Most High and I am called according to divine purpose.
I love that. And you just basically, that's the warrior Aries energy, is to overcome, not to look at the thing that keep us stuck. And it is a process because some people are still in the trauma. And so that's why they can't heal from it. You know what I mean? So it's a process, but that's like the outcome of what it should be. We shouldn't keep singing those same songs and same stories and being reprogrammed into the trauma. But when it's fragile, but what what I want to say about that is I just give thanks that we're in the information age and people can really get what they need to start to heal the trauma and to see and identify. Some people don't even know they're traumatized because we're living in root chakra mode and we're surviving. And it's almost like when you're at war and people are dropping and dying, you can't even stop necessarily to grieve. You got to keep going for survival. But when it's all over, you're like, damn, wow, what was that? So it's I think we're all healing, and I give thanks for these spaces. I give thanks for your energy, for this, because everybody is gonna need to hear that. It's like rallying the troops to get up and stand up, and you being an Aries and being cardinal and being a leader. That's what is needed. But everybody's in different stages. But you have what. Keep on doing it because you pushing us and pushing the world, into the limit. Not just you, but all of that energy, that Aryan energy that we're in. It's about, yes, it's that. But I'm saying you in particular, what you're doing with your platform, you are really, I think it's just planting that seed every day. And I think that I'm really fascinated. Is there anything else you wanted to give to us before, I don't hold you up too long? I know it's late out there, but anything else you wanted to give to us and let us know something we can.
Well, I do want to say, Brother Adam, I see you in here in the chat, man. You right there. We right here, Brother Adam. We right here.
His coming the one that followed the sign. Thank you, Adam.
Of course. But yeah, I do want to give us something. The whole purpose and meaning of incarnating anywhere in any realm, right, is for your own self-discovery and edification.
Absolutely.
And we really have to glory, hallelujah, hallelujah, glory to Yah. So we really have to take our power back, the power of knowing that we have created our own experience. We agreed before incarnating here that there were certain lessons that we wanted to learn and experiences that we wanted to have for our own individual reasons, right? And it is important that we keep that in mind because it helps us to move through or even be present in trauma. Because a lot of trauma you can't get around. A lot of it you just have to go through.
Yeah. It's in the chart. Me and you talked built on that.
Go through.
Yeah, it's in the chart.
Hey,
we were talking about that on your page one day, but the problem is people get the agreements. We have to get to waking up to remembering that there are agreements because people think that they're a victim of circumstance instead of remembering that we've made these agreements. You and I were discussing that one time, on the live. I was in the comments and we were building on that.
Right.
But people forget those agreements.
Yeah, we've agreed to it. We've agreed to it, and we have the power to use it, right? Like usefulness is everything. People talk about the Bible is, good, bad, evil. It doesn't matter. Can you use it? How can you use it? If you can't use it, discard it. But if it is something that has entered your life that you cannot escape, it is because you can use it and you haven't figured out how. So it's not going to leave your life until you figure out how to use it.
Yeah.
Right? And so I just want to give the people that. And just to remember this also. To remember that, like, if you see life as crossing a river, a rapid, very rapid, tumultuous river, and there are stones that go across that river, right? And the point of life is to get to the other side of the river. Now, some of those stones are going to be smooth and wide and flat and warm, and they're going to have soft moss on them, and you can lay in the sun, and little splashes of water refresh you. That's nice, right? But some of those stones are going to be jagged. You're going to fall in the water. You're going to dang near die. You're going to cut yourself up. You're going to knock your tooth out, chip your tooth. You're going to be passed out, wake up, beat up, but clinging on, okay? But at the end of the day, understanding that you must encounter all of those stones in order to get across the river, and every single one of them was as critical as every other one. So you can't be only grateful for the smooth, warm, mossy, flat stones and not grateful for the hard, ragged stone that cut you, baby, because it got you across the river. So I know it's hard for people to think of being grateful for trauma, but we have to. We have to, because that gives us back the power of our own experience.
Come on, sister.
You know what I'm saying? It gives us back the power of our own experience. And that's what this is about. No, you not. Yeshua said, no, you not, that you are gods. Yeah. We are the gods. We're the creators of this realm in reality, right? And the last little thing I want to say, and I say this every day on my broadcast, right, is don't forget, don't let nobody tell you that you're not perfect. The fact of the matter is, we were created by perfect gods. We were created in the image of those perfect gods by their perfect hands. And so mathematically speaking, then we would have to, each and every single one of us, be perfect. Because there's no way perfect gods could create things in their perfect image and get it wrong 8 billion or more times.
Right.
That's just not possible. Point two is the understanding that every single one of us is actually perfect, right? Every single one of us is perfect to do what we came here to do. So the core question is, what am I here to do? I don't care if you're here to bake pumpkin pies, baby, or if you're here to bounce babies on your knee. I don't care if you're here to pick up the trash in the neighborhood. Whatever it is, everyone came here to do something that the rest of us will benefit from. Whether you do it for one person, million people, we are all benefiting from the righteous good works and deeds of one another. And you are perfectly created to do exactly that.
Unique expression.
That would be my little.
Oh man, okay.
Be ye perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. It's true, Adam.
We have to take the good, the bitter. I love the message you gave. I wanted to thank you again, Queen, again, while you're here, for what you did, Shaylee. It speaks volumes. You are on this planet, and but it's about humanitarian. It's about people. It's about doing what we need to do. And thanks for you coming and blessing my form like this, and even being and sharing in the soul healing community. I appreciate it, Queen. And
I appreciate you.
Thank you, Queen.
You're breaking up so bad. I'm so sad. I can't.
Okay.
I'm only getting like half of what you're saying.
That's good. That's okay. But we get into the core parts. Welcome in, Sister Yvette. Welcome in, Sister Shaylee. Brother Adam, thank you for your comments. Everybody that's watching. And again,
shalom,
thank you
shalom,
Shaylee. I would thank you for such a beautiful
I love you.
Spirit.
This has been such a treat. We can do this anytime, girl. Anytime. I'm happy to kick it with you. This was such a treat. So when you gonna come to my show? Before I go, when you gonna come? I know it's early for you, but I can bring you. I'm always inviting folks, and everybody's so camera shy. I tell you, but it'd be beautiful to have you on and just to flesh it out because
What we'll do is
I'm sorry.
I'll get in the info. I'll look at my to see what day works best, and it's nothing. It's nothing. I'm gonna say also, look, girl, thank you, girl, for coming Yeah, for sure. Oh, I was gonna also tell you, yeah, connection, and build on some other things. This was beautiful. So we'll get together for when I can come on to your space. I appreciate the invite. Okay, Queen.
They're breaking up so bad. They're breaking up
But you
so
know
bad. Why is
what?
this thing disrespectful?
When you listen to the replay, it'll be better because you can be able to hear.
Yeah, yep.
It'll be better. So I'm gonna and I'll be delighted. So
I
we'll
love
we'll make
all
that.
you beautiful
I love
tuning
you.
in.
I love you.
Y'all
Soul
be
power.
quiet.
Let's elevate. Yes. But anyway,
Y'all
I'll be
be
in touch with you
glorified by
soon.
the praise, y'all.
Yes. So I'll be you soon, Queen, and we'll talk. Yeah, soon. Because it's choppy. So
I'm here
have a good
anytime. We'll have to do some time after the retrograde is done.
after. Yes, yes. This is a lot. Love you, Queen. Thank you.
Good for you, Shelly. Good job,
Yeah,
Shelly. I read your comment. I see that you said you're registered.
yeah,
Yay!
Queen.
Good. All right.
We're
Hey, I'm
gonna
out of here.
stop it.
I love
Keep
y'all.
moving.
Thanks, sis. I'm gonna get off because I can't
Thank
hear
you,
you. At
Queen.
this point, it's so bad. I can't hear you. I can't even see you
Okay.
anymore.
How hilarious.
One love, y'all. I'm gonna
One love, Queen.
go ahead and go because this connection so bad. I don't know if y'all can still
No
hear me,
problem.
but I can't. I'm getting nothing from y'all.
It's all good. I just cut it off. And you guys, this has been choppy, so I hope that you guys hear the messages. I think for the most part we got. She were able to hear the Queen's message. Just want to thank her again. I'm gonna go ahead and end the live, guys. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and start it from the beginning and take a look. Other than that, I will see you guys. What's today? Wednesday. I guess I'll be back again tomorrow night. Another late night live. We're going to be doing readings. We're going to be doing oracle reads, tarot reads, energy reads, intuitive reads. So make sure y'all tap in, and that's going to be, of course, at 10 p.m., somewhere between 9 and 10, but probably 10 p.m. So anyway, love, light, peace. Yeah. Have a grand rest tonight, you guys. Peace.